Alrighty, I got merked today, so we'll jump right in. I all of these lows here, I was like very bearishly biased. Like all of these stacked lows here on NQ, we had that huge fair value gap. I did not think we were going to be bullish. The problem was going into the morning, we had an SMT at these lows, and then we had an SMT at these highs. So it was almost like AMD, like accumulation, manipulation, right? And then expecting the distribution to be lower there, and then we had like AMD to the opposite direction here, like this. But because I was bearishly biased on the higher time frame, I was looking for shorts based off of that. Realistically, probably shouldn't have traded when there's double SMTs, but we had a big push lower. We did end up holding this previous new week opening gap from almost a month ago, which was also like super deep discount. We did hold OTE there, so probably should have been looking for longs, but had this 5 minute, and the reason why I was also looking for shorts is just the structure. Like, this is definitely a high resistance liquidity run to the upside. I mean, like, you take these highs, reject. Take these highs, reject. Take these highs, and then push through previous lows. So I was like, alright, this is bearish. We got a 1 minute fair value gap here, and this would be our breaker. So I smacked a short in there, and it ended up getting stopped. Basically, we just, we were holding this 1 minute the whole time. Came back into this 1 minute here, took this most recent low, and then ended up just going higher, holding this 1 minute, pushing to the upside. That's like an internal model in itself right here. In this 1 minute, after, like, that's your market structure shift to the upside. But I was just not confident in going long in this price action. But I mean, I guess you could have just went long and just held it to the other end of the range as the AMD model. So yeah, that was my first trade. Let me clear this up a bit. And then once that was like clearly bullish, and ES was like, I was like, alright, it doesn't seem like we're going lower. Like, we just rebalanced price. This is bullish, this isn't bearish. Then I flipped my bias. So NQ held this 15 minute perfectly. But I also did not like this internal model at all either. We had these highs here, and then we also had these like stacked highs here as well. And it obviously did work. Like, if this huge 1 minute fair value gap, like big manipulation move, and then we claim above it, and then you could have gotten long at this fair value gap here. We hold it perfectly to the tick. And then I saw this. I did not want to go long in this because of how aggressively we came back down into it, but eventually that got held as well. And so I'm sure you could have gotten some sort of long position in here, for a very big move targeting these external levels as well. And that's sell side, buy side of the curve. So, but I just wasn't a fan of that. And then I did take a trade in here, but I forgot that news came out here. I got stopped out at break even on this. I forgot news was coming up, But this was looking not bad at the end of lunch. Had this 5-minute fair value gap here, generated some liquidity here on the way down, took out these lows, held sort of like discounted this range, big push higher, clear 1-minute fair value gap, and then because I didn't want my risk to be skewed here, like by just longing at the 1-minute, since this really wasn't a high take profit, I zoomed in and my long it wasn't here. I think my long was probably about here after we took this most recent low. And then I think I put my stop loss right about down here, something like that, right under this 1-minute probably, and then take profit up here. I saw the SMT. I was thinking about just closing my position when I saw that SMT, because if we look at ES as well, where was it? Was it this one? There was actually an SMT here, which I didn't even notice. But I guess it didn't really matter because the SMT happened and then we took the lows, so like we already used that pretty much. But yes, we had an SMT there, not there. So now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, it's more like that. So I saw this, we had this 1-minute here, and then once we started to like push higher, I was thinking about moving my stop. Like if we came above this high, I would have put my stop below this low, but I ended up just getting stopped at break even there. So it is what it is. I was only down like $15. So it really wasn't anything bad, and then I basically just like spiraled out of control like right at the end of the day. We just had this massive move to the upside, and it's just all like FOMO, just sort of like being upset that like I missed out on all this and stuff, and we had this fair value gap here with those little lows stacked in there, and I'm not trying to really validate this setup by like explaining this to you, but yeah, we also had like this huge external SMT here at these highs, and ES had just came back into OTE of the range, still holding that massive imbalance, rejecting off of the new week opening gap. There's absolutely no reason why I should be taking a trade here, but of course I did anyway. So these lows at the time, it was like this. So ES had came and taken these like stacked lows here, and NQ did not. So we were sort of in here, and zooming in, I basically just got smoked. I took like 3 little just re-entries and just on market, and they were all just terrible. So the first one, we had that SMT, we inversed this 1-minute, big push to the upside, huge fair value gap here. And the reason why my take profit was here, this is another reason why I just shouldn't have taken the trade, because this is the logical like draw on liquidity. And so I basically just like brought my take profit up, I was like, alright, this is like the manipulation, the original manipulation move here, you know, in this little internal model. So I like lined it up with the standard deviation there. You know, maybe wow, that is insane. Actually, I didn't mark this out, but that is insane. That 2 standard deviation right there from that move. I'm gonna leave these marked out just for my curiosity to see where we actually rejected from, but basically I saw us come down, you know, wick this low, this place up, fair value gap. So I just, you know, did what I shouldn't do, and I just smacked a market order all the way up here, which just completely skewed my risk. I'd be better off just smacking along in the 1 minute. You know, so get stopped out there, and then as we sort of wicked this low, I just smacked another long, got stopped out, and then third time's the charm. We took this, still sort of holding this area, bounce up again, took another long at market, got stopped out, and then it eventually ended up going. And if I really just take a step back, you know, we basically just, I'm sure we just came down into OTE and just held OTE and bounced, you know, like very, yeah, just normal, like, price movement. You know, we had this little sliver of a 1 minute, we had that inverse, yeah, and we just ended up holding that. A little 30-second in there as well. I wonder if there's SMT at these lows. There's not, but yeah, so OTE ended up holding, and you know, the model did end up playing out. It was pretty nasty though. We had this 1 minute too, but that would have been pretty bad risk to reward ratio as well. Yeah, take out that high, 2 to 2.5 standard deviation, and rejected from there. So yeah, I basically just got smoked at the end of the day. You know, just trying to like not be red on the day, and I ended up going from a $15 red day to then like, you know, 63 or whatever. You know, just completely being a dumbass. So, you know, I knew going into these trades after this that I should not be trading here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just obvious. I knew I shouldn't have been trading there. You know, it just all came down to a psychology thing. So, you know, I keep like relapsing where I'm like, alright, I'm gonna be disciplined, and then I just trade like a complete asshole, and then yeah, it just, the cycle repeats. So it's just me versus me. I'm being my biggest enemy. Not really much to say. I just gotta try to figure this out and not blow my account and try not to lose any more money. I probably shouldn't take a trade tomorrow. I should probably realistically just paper trade for a few weeks, but I probably won't do that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm shot. So yeah, big. I really don't know what to think of this after this huge move to the upside. You know, we do have this big SMT, and we are like in OTE this range on ES, and like ES still looks like a clean, like I don't want to say clean sell model anymore at this point, because honestly now, like, even ES looks like all this generated buy side, like low resistance liquidity, like it looks like we could just run this to the upside. You know, there is an SMT there, but, and at this point NQ, like so much generated liquidity that on like a daily time frame, it would almost like make more sense for us to just come like all the way up here, take out all of this liquidity, and then just have like a massive move to the downside after. You know, because if we were to go lower here, I would still be bullish, thinking that we're going to go take that. So, I don't know, man. I'm not going to go too deep into this sort of higher time frame analysis. Basically, the way that I'm going to trade it is based off of the internal model. So if we do something like this, where we're just sort of like chopping around, like retrace and do something like that, I'm bullish. But if we, you know, do something like this, then I'm gonna be bearish. So that's really the determining factor going into tomorrow. But you know, huge move to the upside. Really got to see some sort of rebalancing into this 1 hour, at least into here, form some structure inside of here before bouncing higher. So we'll see. And if this 1 hour, I mean this 1 hour is pretty massive too on ES, so it's difficult to say. You know, we're in this massive imbalance, but now we've also formed this bullish imbalance here. So, you know, do we want to hold that? Who knows? Well, we're dropping in there right now, so we'll have to see what happens in the overnight. So, yeah. Like always, if I take a trade tomorrow, I will make another video. So, peace out.